Let's start recording. That was insane. I had thought
There's
that
no
we'd
video
started
to this?
recording. No, there is right there.
Oh,
How do you look? Good? Torey
guess.
Cole, hilarious
Yeah,
comic.
sure.
What's up, Torey? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? We've actually never spoken, so this
I'm
is
terrific.
Really chaotic. Yeah.
Well, we spoke for a bit at that show last
Like
week.
a second, yeah.
And then I sent you your video. How'd you like it?
There's a lot of like restaurant noise in it.
There was a lot of restaurant. I know. That's why I usually am mic'd up when I do that.
I figured
stuff.
you had a love or something, but
And also the thing is, like, with that camera, like, it picks up everything. So anytime like my filmer is breathing or eating anything, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Hold your breath.
Yeah, no, I was like, can I clip this? And I was like, there's no clips.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
maybe you can put like the room volume down and then the subtitle volume up, just to make it like yellow
I'm
and
not
pink.
very savvy. I'm like, I use Splice. I'm doing the least and the most.
Well, at least you're still
I
doing
can.
it, the least and the most.
They
you
say
can.
try your best, so
I love that.
I like to say that it's my best, but my best doesn't involve splicing different layers and room tone. And
Well, you're a funny comic from the first time that I saw you, so that's good.
That is all I'm
Means
looking
a lot?
for. Yeah, that's why I'm
Alright,
here.
good.
I just came to sit on this couch and get a big ego boost.
Love
so
that. Where are you from
I can
initially?
go now. I'm from Maryland,
Where in Maryland?
Annapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know anyone who went to Navy? That's like right.
No,
in
well, it's like it's a Navy.
Hometown.
Like that's like the vibe there, but I don't. No, my dad wasn't involved. His dad was. That's kind of why we ended up there. And my mom's from Baltimore, so it just kind of happened. There's
Okay.
really nothing cool about Maryland.
Well, my cousin
I wish there
lives
was.
in Bethesda, so I've been
Bethesda's
there
very
a few
nice.
times for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
That's like
It's
a suburb
fun.
of DC. It's cool. Yeah, I mean, I love Annapolis. I went to school in Colorado though, so I went out there. I kind of realized I was like, oh, it's not all about La Crosse and Old Bay, and there's other places you can be from.
Where in
Like,
Colorado?
I went to school in Boulder. I went to University of
Oh,
Colorado.
nice. My buddy went there for a year and then transferred to Michigan. But then I also had another friend who went there for 4 years and she loved it.
Okay.
She's a big skier.
Yeah. I snowboarded. I went there because
Oh,
I
you
like
were a boarder?
Yeah, I thought I was cool in high
Let's
school.
go.
Yeah. Am I
You thought
holding-
you were
I feel
cool?
like I'm
You seem
holding this
cool.
weird.
No, I
Am
know. Some
this
people
is-
sometimes worry about holding it. And, I'm
You're holding
here
it
to
cooler
tell
than I
you,
am.
don't hold it.
I just
We can maybe
feel-
flip it. I just don't want you to like touch this thing and like get it loose.
Yeah, I'll
got
just
new
keep my
things.
weird claw on the. This is
The
a
claw
nice
holder.
mic.
Yeah. This looks cool too.
This sounds good.
We're talking about holding the microphone
Yeah,
for
sorry,
those of
that
you who
was
don't
not
have visual.
helpful to-
Actually, for
yeah.
the most part, I think a lot of people do enjoy the visual these
On
days because we
YouTube?
have visual on Spotify, which is pretty
wow.
exclusive. Not everybody has that.
Fancy.
And then on YouTube as well. So if you guys
Okay.
are watching on Spotify, what's up? Here we are.
Look at you. This is a nice soundboard.
Yeah, it's cool.
You're not messing around.
No, I'm not messing around. So you have been in the city for how long? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, I
Tori.
moved here in 2016.
Okay.
And I honestly, I didn't move here for comedy. I just moved here to do marketing and like advertising. I found comedy in 2019.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
What were you doing that you found it?
So my friend asked me to be her maid of honor in her wedding. And I wanted to
And
give
the speech was so good that you.
Well, I wanted to give a speech.
Stop.
I wanted to give a good speech. And I was telling my mom this at breakfast. She comes into the city a lot for her job.
Okay.
We were sitting at breakfast one day and I was like, I really want to give like a killer maid of honor speech, but
She
I
was
feel like I
You
should.
ought to do an open mic.
Well, I was like, I want to take a class. And I was like thinking about maybe a comedy class. And she was like, oh my God, you have to do that. And she literally like grabbed her wallet and like threw it at me across the table and was like, book it right now. And I was like, I need to figure out which one. Like, that's very kind and sweet to offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The support really like kept me going. So then I found the one at the Comedy Cellar, signed up, and I took it with a friend, and I just fell in love with it. I put my first showcase on Reddit. I'm not a Reddit girl, but she was or is, and I was like, I just like kind of like.
Oh, I thought
copied
you were
her.
talking about yourself, by the way. You're like, but she was back in the day. Like you're talking about yourself and 3 years ago,
Oh,
but you're talking about
that's
your friend. You're like,
hilarious.
but
My
she
friend.
was
Yeah,
a Reddit
yeah.
girl. Yeah.
You know, she got. I don't understand Reddit. I like use
I don't
my
really
name.
understand
I
it
like
too,
set
to
up
be
my
honest.
profile like with my real name, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know." But anyways, I put my showcase on Reddit and I like made it to the top of like the Reddit stand-up page, and it got like all these comments, and I was like, "Oh wow, like I could really do this." And I was blacked out for my first,
Really?
fully blacked out.
5 minutes?
Yeah, just gone. No one
So you just
home.
like took 4 shots beforehand.
Oh, at least I drank like a bottle of champagne. I was taking tequila shots before I went up. I just like I was so nervous. So anything to get me up there.
Gosh, I bet.
Yeah. So, but it went well. So then I just started throwing myself into bringers, like Dangerfield's bringers, open mics, and then it just kind of all like started happening, and then the pandemic hit. And I had luckily already done my industry room at Broadway, so that got me kind of in the loop there. And then Rich Brooks actually reached out to me during the shout out during the pandemic. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna open the club back up. Like, do you want your spots from what you got from your industry?" And I was like, literally, I was like living with my grandmother in Florida. Like, I was so lost during the pandemic. I bought a car. I drove to Colorado. I lived out there for a few months. I lived in LA for a few months. I'd say that I Goldilocks my way through the States to see like what
does
life.
That mean?
Like, you know, in Goldilocks where she's like, this one's too cold.
Oh, right. And then this one's just right.
Yeah. So exactly.
So then which one was just right?
New York,
of course.
Shout out New York.
Yeah,
so love New York. And he was like, "Hey, like, you want your spot?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I literally like planned my life around moving back for like a few spots from the industry room. Basically, I hit up my friends. I was like, "Who has a room open?" My one friend did. She's like, "Get back here." And then I started working at the club. I kind of got my foot in the door, and now I work the door on Mondays. I manage Greenwich Village on Tuesdays. So it kind of worked out. Like, I really just weaseled my way back into the comedy world, and here we are.
Love that. Where were you during the pandemic? You had been going to a few different places?
Yeah. Well, I moved home because like I feel like everyone just kind of left the city.
Long Island for 3.5 months.
Yeah. And I kicked myself for leaving because I feel like a lot of people during that time kind of, like if you were like new to the scene or like a lot of people like found themselves in comedy during that time.
Right.
But whatever, I left and I was home in Maryland for like 3 months and then bought a car and then drove out to Colorado. Lived there for like 2 months.
Well, what was out there though that you went out to Colorado? You just had friends who had graduated that stayed there?
Yeah, my one friend had a 2-bedroom and no one was in the second bedroom. And she was like, I mean, I just pay my double rent. Like, I don't really care. But like, if you want to come stay with me, for sure. And I was like, yeah. And I like bought a Jeep Wrangler. I went
lit. So you're like the full Colorado.
Yeah.
chick.
I was like, this is my life now. I was very like, you know, New York is dead. I adopted that mentality.
Not great. We might have to even cut that part out. Imagine.
Sorry, I know those are fighting words.
Well, yeah, but you're back now.
Yeah. And I look back. I'm like, what a loser I was thinking that. But I thought that, and so I was like, I guess.
You thought you were gonna like move to Colorado and do comedy out there?
No, I just was like, I guess
kind of over comedy for a moment.
I will hike and like drink tea and be healthy.
Smoke weed. You smoke weed?
No, I did when I went to school out there. Like I thought I was gonna like smoke weed and snowboard, and then I had like a crazy weed-induced panic attack. Yeah, like bad.
Let's hear it.
You want to hear the story?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, why not?
We got time.
Okay, so. It was in 2012, and remember when like
so this is like back before it was legal, right? Or was it legal then?
Yeah, it wasn't legal yet.
I was in college then too. I was at UConn.
Okay.
We got in trouble for smoking weed, so it was not even close to being legal over there.
Yeah.
And then in the following years, I think medical, and then now it might be fully legal.
Okay.
Not so
yeah. But it wasn't legal at this time. But basically, I was home for the summer before going back out to Colorado for my sophomore year.
In Maryland?
Yeah. And me and all my friends were talking about 2012 and how the Mayans predicted that the year.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I forgot about that for a second.
Shout out that time.
And then there was also that time, Coney 2012. You remember that?
It was a chaotic time. Yeah.
Wild. We were all like, it's a revolution. And
Yeah.
then Coney might still be in the mix. Joseph Coney. You guys remember that? 2012. I forget where, but...
Yeah, it's all
somewhere
blur.
in Africa.
It's all blur. I was too worried the world was going to end. So my solve to that concern was getting so beyond high. I smoked an entire joint and then I finished my friend's because she was like so high and she's like, here, finish mine. So and
you were just in like what mode? Why would you do that?
I just wanted to like black out basically.
But you had enjoyed smoking weed though up until that point?
Yeah, up until that point. Okay, I enjoyed. Like, I wasn't like a big stoner, but I was like, yeah, like I'll smoke when we're smoking. You know, I'm not gonna not pass it over. So I just ripped through it all, and then suddenly, I look up and I just was like, wait, you guys think that's gonna happen? And they were like, well, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but people believe it is, and it might as well because people are going to just start shooting people. Like we all just got in this crazy dark headspace of talking about how like the world, it was like the Purge. We basically like painted the Purge 2.0 and we were just going off. And then I lost it. All my friends had left at this point. So it's just me and my one friend in my house. And I have an island in my kitchen. And like my heart rate was so high that I was like, I feel like if I don't move, it's good. My brain.
Your parents weren't around at this time though?
No, my mom was away on business. My sister was home.
But it was at your family house?
Yeah. But no, it was just me and my sister, my friend. And so I'm walking around the island. I've probably lapped this thing like 400 times. I'm like, my friend's looking at me like, you're insane. And I'm like, yeah, I feel insane. And then I was like, I'm going to call 911. And she was like, don't do that.
Yeah,
She's
I'm
like,
with your friend right now.
Yeah, she was like, Torey, you're just really high. Like, don't do that. And I was like, my heart's going to explode. Like, it really, I've never, to this day, my heart rate has never been that high, ever. It was like a rabbit being chased by a fox.
Were you out of breath? Did it feel like you had been running for a while, or it was just like your heart kept palpitating?
Just not even out of breath. Just like my heart was just insane. The heart rate was. I wish I had like a monitor.
One of those freaking things.
That it would have been like, you're dead. You were gonna
not
die.
alive.
But I even like wanted to go for a walk, and she's like, just stay in the house. And then finally, it was like 3 a.m. at this point, and I go wake my sister up. And
well, what time had you started freaking out from, and to wake up your sister at 3?
1.
And she's your older sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had work in the morning. She was home. She was like doing PA work in DC for a while before, because she lives here in the city now. She's older. But I go into her room, and I'm like, Taylor, I'm not okay. And she was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then I get into her bed and I grab her hand and I put it on my heart so she could understand like why I was waking her up. And she immediately sat up and she was like, whoa, like what the fuck? And I was like, I am so high. And she's like, you're an idiot.
This is just straight like weed. This wasn't like laced with anything.
As far as I know, as far as I'm concerned.
So we continue with this story.
Yeah, I think I just smoked so much and got in such a dark headspace that I just was like, this is it. And I couldn't talk myself down. So finally she's like, take a cold shower and just like go lay down somewhere. And I was like, all right, fine. I take a cold shower, first ever like enjoyable cold shower.
Enjoyable, really?
I mean, it was necessary. It was like very like transactional. Like I need to just feel something else.
Figure out the personality change.
I took a cold shower and then I put on like a full sweatsuit, and I still remember it so vividly. And I let my wet hair like fall down the back of my sweatshirt, which is like normally the worst feeling ever, but in that moment it was like weirdly calming. And then I curled up on this shitty IKEA couch in this like area upstairs that we never sit on. It was like the couch that it's like a joke, you know, like the shitty one that's just kind of there. And it was literally, it felt like cardboard, but I just curled up on it and I just went to bed. And I just was like, please just wake up feeling normal. That's all I wanted.
Oh man.
And I woke up and I felt fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
How many hours later did you wake up after 3 a.m.?
I probably woke up at like 8.
Aye.
And I just was like, what just happened? And then I was like, I don't even want to go back to school feeling like this. Like I had like crazy anxiety from that.
How old were you at this time?
I was like 20, 19. Yeah, I was 9. I guess I must have been 19 because it was my sophomore year of college. And I was all jacked up. I was like still convinced the Mayans were right because it hadn't happened yet. Like the date was like 12, whatever the fuck, 12. No, 12, 25.
12. No?
I was like,
because 12:25 would have been.
Maybe it was 12. I
think it would probably
So I was like still like, I mean like if the dinosaurs got taken out, like
why wouldn't us?
Right? That's where my mind was. I was like, it happened to the dinosaurs. Yeah. You never know.
And you haven't smoked weed since this point?
I mean, I've like
dabble.
I would get like weed gummies from like the dispensaries in Colorado, and like I would drink a glass of wine and then have like a weed gummy to like level set. But then after a while, I was like, why am I drinking to drug myself? Like there's no point here. So eventually, now I don't touch it. But actually I had to like see a therapist because I was all jacked up.
Wow. How many days do you feel like that for though?
I felt weird for like 6 months.
Really? No.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful for it because I never appreciated anxiety. Like I would judge people. My sister has anxiety and like she would get all stressed out and I'd be like, what a fucking loser. Like, she's getting stressed. Like, oh, she's having a panic
attack. She should just smoke, yeah.
Well, and I just was
That's
like,
what you were thinking?
I just was judgy. I was like, oh, anxiety. Oh, like.
Where'd your sister go to college?
SMU.
Okay. Is that a party school too?
Yeah.
Southern Methodist University.
A lot of money there. She was not that's not her vibe at all. She went to school she went to boarding school like in like New England. So it's like more her type, but
like Choate.
It's called Hotchkiss.
Oh, that's basically I think like Choate.
It's all the same,
right? Like Hotchkiss is very fancy.
It is fancy,
or so I've heard.
But she's more of that vibe. I didn't go to boarding school. I stayed in my hometown. But yeah, no. Long story short, I was all fucked up. I had to see a therapist. But now I like appreciate and understand anxiety more, and I think I needed to go through that. I think I went through a quarter life crisis because I had to like break down dying. I'd be like, oh, Like I'm gonna die one day.
Did
you know?
Did you end up calling the hospital or no?
No,
911, you were
luckily I
good.
didn't. Which would have been honestly for the story, it would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been good.
I'm glad I didn't.
Like, wrap up here with that story.
Sorry,
and then I called the cops.
Yeah, we can end the story, but basically, long story short. Oh, but it actually does end really funny. So fast forward to 12/12/12. I'm home for Thanksgiving, or fast forward to the day. Whatever.
This day the world's supposed to end.
I'm home on school break, and it's just me and my mom. And suddenly the lights cut out, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "This is kind of weird." And then, like, we look outside, and like the sky is lighting up. And we're like,
this is on 12/12/12.
If you Google,
Cat.
if you YouTube Annapolis Apocalypse, it all comes up. But basically,
Annapolis Apocalypse.
yeah, it's called Annapolis Apocalypse. You can put it into YouTube. It comes up. But basically, like the whole sky was lighting up. Everyone lost power.
All right, I'm popping it up right here so we know what Tori's talking about.
Okay,
It's
cool.
right here. You're describing it.
Yeah, you're gonna do
Yeah,
that.
I'm popping it up.
Okay, cool. It was crazy. And then everyone's on, like, I went on Twitter and everyone's like, world's ending. And like, I thought it was my friends from Colorado tweeting it. So I had I didn't even, like, I was so panicked that I didn't even think to be like, let me make sure this is the right Elizabeth. You know, I just was like, Elizabeth. And then I was like, that's my friend in Colorado. And I was like, so we like, just kind of panicked. My mom just started drinking scotch. She's like, I'm just gonna pour a glass of scotch.
No. So she was convinced too?
She was kind of like spooked, but she like, instead of like panicking, she was like, I'm pouring some scotch, like whatever. And I just kind of like sit with it. And then eventually we got our power back and everything was fine. But I couldn't help but like be like, this is it.
12/12. It's such an interesting time. I can't remember the last time I thought about that. When
Right?
we legitimately, as a society, thought the world could end.
Yeah.
And there were other
Yeah.
events on that Mayan calendar that I think gave
yeah.
it credit. I can't remember what else though.
Honestly, if you think about like the Mayans in general, the whole thing is hilarious. Like,
What about them?
just like
I
they
don't know
like
much about
dug
'em.
caves and ate chocolate. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
they like did art.
yeah, if you just think about anything in depth, you're like, really? Like that was a time? Like those are people.
They
I
were
don't know.
eating chocolate too?
Big chocolate people. They
Big
drank
chocolate
it.
People
They loved
drank
their chocolate. Yeah.
I like chocolate fondue. I'm a dark chocolate person since I'm vegan.
Oh,
I
you're
can
vegan. How long have
rarely
you been
have
vegan for?
chocolate. Well, like 4 weeks ago, for the first time, I slipped up and ate chicken because I ordered from a place called Plant Based Pizza, and on the menu there were buffalo wings. So I ordered them. I bit into it, and I was like, "This is probably chicken." So I ate it, but that was the first time I lapsed in like 2.5 years. So I've been.
Did you
vegan
eat all
for
of
like
it? You
2.5
bit
years.
into it and you're like,
No,
I'm
I ate it
going
all.
all
I
in.
ate it all, Torey. Yeah.
Knowing.
I felt bad knowing. I was 80% sure when I was eating it that it was chicken. So
Was
I
there
felt
no
bad. I've
bone?
told everyone.
There was no bone?
Yeah, there was
So it's like
bone.
obvious.
It wasn't that obvious because like with the buffalo wings, sometimes they have stuff that looks like the bone. So it's
Okay.
like 20%. This is vegan.
Were you just
80%, it's
alone?
not.
Like
I was alone. Yeah,
How
hungry.
many years of veganism down the drain?
After that, 2.5 years. Well, but
That's not bad.
the first time I went vegan, that was the first time I had broken it.
Why are you vegan?
Well, I had pretty invasive jaw surgery.
Oh, yeah.
So I had my jaw broken in like 3 places. I had depleting gum line on one side, so my jaw was growing a little bit further out. It happens more in females than males, like TMJ. So I didn't have like really bad TMJ. You familiar with TMJ?
Yeah.
You hear that? Yeah. So I didn't have it really bad, but my one side of my jaw was going to continuously keep growing, and my face was already like a little. Not like fully crooked, but like a little,
Yeah.
crooked. So the surgeon just like replaced my jaw,
Got it.
and from like that point to like 6 weeks out, I couldn't eat anything. Like,
Did you lose a lot of weight?
squishy? Yeah, I lost like 20 pounds probably.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I
Do you
gained it
work
back,
out?
though. Yeah, I do.
Were you upset?
A lot. Yeah. I was upset, but I knew that like this is something that I needed to do, and for like 2 or 3 months. I just needed to like figure out how to, because I couldn't like talk. I couldn't even communicate. I broke up with my girlfriend like 2 weeks after this surgery, and like my face was like this. I was like, I just can't do anything.
Were you sad?
was crazy.
Like you had to break up with her because you're
Well,
like, I can't engage. Like we can't
Well,
talk,
like,
so let's not
and
do this.
And I think that like it
was she
it
down with
got
it?
to
She's
the
like, well,
point-
not my problem.
No, well, I think she was upset. She was
Okay.
upset, but like it was leading to that point. I think like me getting surgery and me not being able to talk was like the icing on the cake.
Okay.
I was like, look, this already, is
Yeah.
difficult, and now I cannot even fucking talk. So
How long
it's
had
even
you been
more
dating
difficult.
for?
About a year
Okay.
or so. She was
You knew,
a
though?
good amount younger than me. Yeah,
Okay.
I knew.
How old are you?
I am 31 as of
Okay.
like last week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
I feel 30. And like
Okay.
guys, I feel like getting this kind of age, maybe like we feel a few years younger. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no,
What
I
do you
feel
like?
like-
You're 28.
I'm 29, but I feel like like, yeah, men, your 30s are just kind of like another throwaway decade. Like 20s.
I don't know, they're throwaway.
I think 20s are for sure throwaways.
20s, yeah, for
30s,
sure.
I think for men is still kind of throwaway.
Yeah, you know,
And
and people wouldn't look, I feel like it wouldn't be so weird if I dated like, I don't want to age myself. If I dated like a 24-year-old,
Yeah, be like, whatever. I'd be like, yeah, she's kind of young. Maybe you won't vibe on certain levels or things.
Yeah.
But like, I think emotionally men are definitely like more in that headspace.
But like females and males are kind of at the same age when like females are mature younger.
Yeah.
So I'd say like maybe like a 25-year-old woman is the same maturity wise like 28 or 29-year-old man.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
Do you date older men? If you don't mind me asking,
No,
are you single?
I am, and
Okay.
I don't really date, honestly. Like,
Neither do I. I ain't got time for that shit.
we're comedy.
It's because honestly, I would wake up the next morning hungover, and likely maybe I didn't want to go out and I don't want to say waste that time, but like spend that time
Totally.
with somebody who like I'm not fully committed to.
It's really hard. I mean, I stopped drinking in March, so.
Oh wow, good for you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank
I'm
you
not
so
such
much.
I'm not such a drinker myself, but like
Uh-huh.
when I do drink is probably once a month, and then I'll have like 4 to 6 drinks. So like I'll get pretty
Yeah.
turned. Like if I'm
Totally.
drinking, I'm
You're
drinking.
Yeah. I would joke that I would ruin my life quarterly. Like I'd have like every 4 months, I'd just like burn it all down, or like 3 months.
Why?
It just would be like my cadence. Like it wasn't even on purpose. I would just like, I was good. Like I'd have a glass, I'd have two or three, whatever for a while. And then it would just like one night I would just be like 3 bottles of wine, let's do this. And then do some stupid stuff.
Yeah. Well, did you have an instance where you were like, all right, I
Yeah.
don't remember what happened last
Oh,
night,
yeah.
like stupid stuff.
I've blacked out a million times. This was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Let's hear
Basically,
it.
I mean, I joke about it on stage a ton. So this is, I mean, it's hilarious. And I think it's ridiculous, but basically, like I've done a million things, but this one, it was just shameful. Like I was at a bachelorette, and naturally you black out at bachelorettes. It's like the point of a bachelorette. And I woke up.
Where was it?
Dallas. And I woke up and it was like 4 a.m. I had a flight at like 7 a.m. My
Oh,
luggage
after a
is
bachelorette
everywhere. Like I was violent. I just felt like horrible. And then I like looked at my phone, and I had just texted an ex like all this stuff. And I just was sitting
And
there.
you really didn't remember doing it?
Nah, and no recollection. And I just was, it was like this moment sitting in an Airbnb in Dallas with my life felt like in shambles. And I just was like, this is just a cherry on top of like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, I'm like, I don't ever want to feel this way. I never want to feel this way again.
And this was March?
Yeah.
That was the
cherry on. And I was
Sunday.
like, you know what? I'm done. And I was like, I'm not going to drink until my friend's wedding, which is in April. So I took off that time. But like during that time, I read a bunch of books. Like Andrew Ginsberg has been super helpful with my sobriety. He
Kid
suggested
loves seltzers.
Yeah. He suggested a book called The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober by Catherine Gray. And I read that and I was like, oh, this is incredible. Like I was like, everything it was talking about was like
And you
spot
read this
on.
before your friend's wedding in April?
Yeah. I literally decided to not drink. I downloaded all the apps. I Am Sober. I downloaded Reframe, and then I read this book, Unexpected Joy of Being Sober. Shout out Ginsberg for
Which
that.
you'd recommend.
Very highly. Yeah. And it really just like, I was like, holy shit, what am I doing? Like, why am I drinking? Like, I mean, I just started drinking when I was 16. Like, I never really thought twice about it. But the book, it just kind of like makes you really understand everything. And I did Sober January in 2020. But then the pandemic hit and I drank my way through the pandemic. Like my mom and I would get cases of wine and just go through a bottle a night easy. But anyways, I made it through my friend's wedding sober. And I was like, oh, that's the first wedding I didn't black out at and didn't do anything stupid at. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then...
But that must have been difficult though, like a month into making this full-time decision and then seeing all of your friends. This is like a big test for you, no?
Big test, but the thought of wanting to reach out to someone from my past, like the thought of like getting drunk and being like, oh, I miss him. Like I was like, ew, like that's not me. I don't feel that way sober. Why do I feel that way drunk? And I just was like,
How long had you been dating that person, by the way?
not that long. It was like a pandemic relationship. So, but he was someone from my past that
But the thing that you said to him, were you relatable with it at all? Like when you woke up, or were you like, oh, maybe that makes sense?
it was things that had upset me when we like parted ways
So-
that I buried for like the last like 2 years. It was
Oh,
things
so
that I
like
just like,
stuff that came out.
yeah, it was just things that I was like, I don't care about this. I'm not going to ever feel this way again. And then, because I'm very stubborn and I just never talked to him really again after we parted ways. And then recently he had reached out and like it all just kind of like like loosened up all the things that I had like
And then when
hammered down,
you
you
were
know?
drunk, like it fully
And
came
then
out.
it just was like everything that I was like really
fuck
hurt
that
by.
about alcohol. Fuck
Right?
that. Like it should just make you a little bit loose and like fun
Right.
and flirty. It shouldn't make you text your ex.
Right. It was like
The
all, it was
worst
like
part.
Pandora's box of demons. I was like, okay.
All right. Here
And
it
then
is.
they kind of flew out.
Here
and
it
I was
is,
like,
Steven.
he didn't need to see any of that, right?
Yeah.
Like he did apologize, which is really like kind of nice. I woke up the next day and like for a while, like I didn't hear back, and I was like, I don't even care if I hear back. Like I was kind of unhinged for me to say all of that, and then he just was like, I'm really sorry, and I was like, that's validating.
That's nice. Are you in the dating apps?
I just re-downloaded Hinge like a month ago, and I am so like I stopped for like a year. And now I'm just like, I don't know why. I know why I didn't do this. Like, this is so lame to me.
It's pretty lame.
It's so lame. I'm like, why am I on this?
Well, have you met anyone doing comedy? Like, has anyone seen you and been like, oh, you're cute, and then message you type?
No.
Would you see someone who would come to a show and slide in your DMs like that? Do you find that to be weird or endearing?
Depends on who it is and why they're at the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's so many elements. I've only ever had one person ask my number when I was working at Broadway, and I just was like, I have a
Well, but he
boyfriend.
saw your set?
Yeah, but he was.
Did you have a
weird
boyfriend or
dude.
no?
No.
Do girls lie about that all the time?
Always. I've always.
Always?
Whenever someone asks me
I thought
out
girls
and I'm not
freaking have
into it,
boyfriends.
I just say I have a boyfriend, and my favorite is 9 times out of 10 they're like, well, how serious is it? One guy,
And then you better have a ring, right?
no, then I have to like fabricate my fake boyfriend even further, being like, it's really serious. Like one guy goes, oh, you want to have 2? And I was like, what? Like the amount of times.
What'd you say?
I was like, no, I'm good. I don't even have 1. I really don't need 2.
You were like, maybe you'd want one now.
Yeah, no.
Not right now. When's the last time you had a boyfriend? Oh, was that like March or the guy before that?
That was like the pandemic. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time for me too.
Yeah. It's hard out there.
Yeah, especially when like the thing that we want to do is like go out and
Tell jokes.
perform and tell jokes at night, and this is a time when a lot of people go out on dates.
Yeah.
Coffee dates, I would think, could become fun for me, but like I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out and have coffee. What would you do on a first date though, since you don't drink?
I haven't been on a first date sober yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess I would go get food. I would go get brunch. I like walking.
Yeah, walking's nice.
I love walking. We could go for a walk. I'm like, wanna go for a walk?
That's nice.
Yeah. I guess walking. I sound so lame. I'm like, now
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
I'm
Like,
single.
what do people what do people who are sober do?
You want to walk?
Walk, get coffee.
And it's cold, so I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
want to
it's a little
walk.
cold.
And I hate forced interactions. Like I'd like to be with someone that I already know. Is that so hard to ask
No.
for?
That's how like our grandparents met each other. They were
Yeah.
like, oh, you're going to love Lucy up the block.
Yeah,
All right, I guess she's my
exactly.
wife for the next 80 years.
I read Aziz Ansari's Modern Dating book back when he rolled that out years and years ago. But it made the points where like back then, like you just date who was in your town or like your uncle's sibling or like whatever.
Yeah, like your cousin. Your cousin.
Yeah, you get your cousin, your sister.
Do you have any roommates?
No. I got a 1-bedroom and I'm thriving in it. Took me a while, but it's so nice.
Took you a while, what? Set it up?
Just
Torify it?
Just living with roommates for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I respect the roommate people, but I'm very getting much. I like having my own space. I'm a little nervous about this winter though, because it's like but if I'm not out, I'm home in my sweats and I'm happy about that.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Hopefully those pipes will be warm. The amount of times I hear about burst pipes in New York, it ain't no joke. So is New York going to be the end place for you? End all be all?
Live here forever?
Yeah, for Evs.
In my mind, yes. Yeah. I love this city. When I leave, I'm like, this is boring. I'm bored. Like I have a friend that just moved upstate, and whenever I'm there, I'm like, this is boring.
Upstate sounds boring. You know what's interesting? Also, I've seen like some female comedians and on like their dating profiles, they put nothing about stand-up comedy. Do you have like a picture of you with a microphone?
Yeah.
Right.
I like to, that's who I am. It's what I care
Totally.
about. It's really all I care about. So I guess I could be like more, honestly, this conversation makes me want to delete my Hinge right now.
Oh, really?
I'm so.
Come on. Why?
It's just not good. Has not been good.
My Hinge profile is literally just a promo to come to the Ted Jones Comedy Show. It's pretty
I was
crazy.
thinking
I
to
was thinking if I
actually
have
use
that.
it as a way to put butts in seats.
Yeah, that's all I do. Like the first picture is like a picture of me and Jim Gaffigan. Here, I'll get it.
Okay, yeah. We should do like a singles. Actually, that sounds lame. Like a comedy show where I bring all the men that I collect, and you bring all the women that you collect.
All right.
That would actually be kind of a funny idea.
Yeah.
Like a bachelorette comedy show.
I'll pop it up here. Hopefully I don't get kicked off the Hinge, but YOLO sauce if I do.
Oh, look at those boobs.
Okay.
You should definitely.
That's from a girl. It's not talking about my page. Okay. All right. Look. Okay, so this is my profile.
Okay, go to view. Go to here, view.
I'm popping it up right here. You guys can see it.
Do you want me to like say how I feel about it?
Tell us how you feel about it.
It's a blurry photo.
Yeah, but it's Jim Gaffigan. It's a cool photo.
Yeah, but no one knows that. No girl, unless she's like a real comedy freak, she's not gonna know that.
Well, you know it, right? Are you impressed?
I can't really tell if that's Jim.
All right, I guess we have to change my main
so
goddamn
photo of you
picture that I've had for 3 years.
Overweight man's hand. Okay,
next picture.
Okay. Ted Jones Comedy Show. DM me. Nice. Do you get a lot of DMs?
Yeah.
That's good. Is that why you have 5,000 followers?
Yeah. I need more DMs. Yeah.
You're in a bathtub. Is that a John and his camera photo?
That is.
Love John.
Nice
shout out
Love John and his C.
So you look
Shout
very good in that photo.
Thank you. Love that.
I love the promo for the
That's
Moxie.
straight up. Right?
It's a great lineup.
Thank you.
It's fun. I have to come by.
You were supposed to do our show on the 24th, but you're not going to be here.
Yeah.
So we'll get you in January.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Of
Love
course.
the stand.
And look, it's freaking, I go crazy for life.
I like that.
I'm simple.
And then the pants are a little tight here.
Which one? Jeans?
Yeah.
I'm a tight pants guy.
Okay.
Those are
let
really,
them know.
in particular,
let them know
really
early.
tight. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got more. You love your comedy show. This is Yeah.
Right? It's just a full
personality pick at the
ad.
end. Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, if you're getting butts and seats, this is worth it. Have you gone on dates from Hinge?
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're fine. I'm also on Raya, but I'm letting my membership expire in a few days.
Is it expensive?
Well, I have been on it, no joke, for 6 years.
Oh wow, you were early adopter.
Yeah, so my membership fee is like $9.99, and now I'm seeing it's like $39.99. But my membership is about to.
You're gonna let it go?
About to end. I might let it go. Like no joke, in 6 days, I think.
Are you gonna miss it?
But yeah, a little bit. But like, look how long I've matched girls for. Like 2016.
Wow.
You know, so it's been a long
I like
time.
that her photo was just boobs.
Yeah, she's a good friend of mine now. But yeah, her photo is just straight.
Oh wow,
boobs.
that's hilarious. You guys are good friends?
Yeah, we're friends.
That's
I mean,
funny.
we hooked up once, but like now we're friends.
What?
Yeah, we're friends. We're friends.
I like that. I think it's important. I'm friends with people that I matched with on Hinge, go on one date, make out once, and then we're homies now.
Sure. Yeah, and she's very successful.
I like matching people that are
OnlyFans.
successful and smart and interesting. That's like my go-to with Hinge. It's like I hate that there's this like pressure to date where it's like it'd be cool if we could just match based off of like
there should be a friend app.
Yeah,
like
or
but
just
I don't think people would take it seriously though if
Yeah.
guys and girls matched. You know, like how can you expect to have just a friendship? Like that would have to be the fine print.
Well, no, it'd be cool just to be like just generic matching of like, so let's say like we're in comedy and there should be like if you're in some sort of creative field, kind of like Soho House, which is like, you know, super hoity-toity blah, but like if it was like, you know, you have to be in the creative industry to be in there. So if it was some sort of like you have to be in the creative field to join this app, and it's a way to just network and connect with someone of the opposite sex, I guess it could be of the same, but then just having some sort of driving force to be like connect. And
then I've heard of this new one called The Field. Have you heard of this?
No,
you, like,
are you playing The Field?
You match with like your sexual kinks with another person.
That's
so like
weird.
you can be like polygam.
That's
how do you say
not
it?
my alley.
Monogamous, polygamous. You can be like a polygamist. You can be like really into kinky stuff.
Okay, I have heard about that at comedy shows.
That. Yeah. So like some people are fully using that. I think that's definitely a newer one. And then Grindr went public either today or yesterday. $2.1 billion.
Wow. Shout out Grindr.
Yeah, shout out.
I just started doing that.
Shout out Grindr.
Now it's like a joke. I'm not going to say it again, but.
What?
Shout out. I keep saying shout out.
No, you're good. They deserve a shout out. They just went public.
I keep saying it for everything.
That was just the third time.
It was like the 8th.
No, it was third. You're good.
Okay.
Tori, so what else is out?
What else is up?
You didn't tell us what's coming up in the beginning of 2023.
That was the question.
Oh, yeah. When we left you here
We went
alone.
on a real tangent. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, no. Because when we started talking about dating, you're like, you want to find a man? And I was like, I don't want a man. Yeah, I'll be turning 30 in March.
Let's go.
That's a big...
March what?
2nd.
Okay.
Pisces.
My grandmother's birthday is March 2nd. I mean, 1st. And my ex-girlfriend, Caroline, who I get along great with.
Okay, you guys are still friends?
Her birthday is March 1st. Yeah, we're still friends. She's married, but we're still friends.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's the weird thing about this age is like people get married. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. I bet like a lot of your friends are getting married. Oh, the bachelorette party in Dallas.
I had that. She got married in April. I've got some weddings coming up next year. I'm excited for her, but overall weddings are like, But anyways, coming up next year, I'm excited for, I guess, turning 30, that milestone. I'd like to, just keep doing stand-up in new places, hopefully. That's the dream. And the places that I'm at now, grateful for them. I don't know. I'm really, every year in comedy, it's so cool. I'm sure you feel this way where like every year you look back, you're like, damn, like I've really come a long way, or I changed this, or I have these new jokes, or like I just love the year over year, So I'm looking forward to just next year, like, continuing that growth. The friendships I've made in this community, I'm beyond grateful for. I think it's like, I'm sure you find yourself in conversations with just like in green rooms and you're like, that was really funny. It's like, yeah, we're comedians, but sometimes it just feels like you're talking to your friends and you're like, oh yeah, like we're all really quick-witted and funny. And it's like, I don't know if I take it for granted, but it's like you're in those settings, like, oh wow, like we're really cool people.
That's interesting you say that, because I find that for 95% of the people that I know who are comedians in New York City, like I don't text, like the only time I would see them is if I'm like out at a comedy club, or maybe I'm walking on the street and it'd be like a stop and say what up. But like anytime, it's like never awkward, like in school, like 95% of the people I don't talk to, but like if I were to be in a room with them, like it wouldn't be as comfortable as like you said, a green room or something like that. But yeah, you're right. Everyone kind of knows each other's faces and people get along well.
It's really
unless you have like serious beef.
Yeah, which
I don't know why you would.
I don't even know of much beef. I'm sure there is, but I've been really grateful for the people I've come across and the communities I'm in, and I call it like my class. Like there's different classes of comedy, and I really like my class. I just really believe in all of us, and it's just cool to watch us all grow together in our own way.
So, are you putting together an hour or 30 minutes or something?
The next goal will be 30. I'm at like 20 right now. But yeah, I would love to film 30 with like another person and put on a show, like something like that.
Do like an hour?
Yeah.
You should.
Just with one other person.
Why don't you?
I should. I mean, I have a show right now called Joke Lab, as I've mentioned to you. It's monthly. Just keep that going. I want to kick off another show. Just getting out there. I want to start a mic. I really want to, I feel like that'd be a cool way to keep the community going. And I think it'd be fun to have a mic that's, for the next class up in a way where it's like not, I guess obviously I want to be inclusive for everyone, but definitely
like a little exclusive.
Because some people get a little bit like, ew, mics. But it's like, it'd be cool if it was all your friends that have been doing it for a while. They're just polishing new jokes.
And you can actually do like time on it.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a mic in a few months, but I remember like there were times when there would just be so many people that you can't even do 5 minutes on it,
Yeah, or no one's listening,
Yeah, no one really
So it's
cares.
like, if it's people that you care about and it's like, they're like trying to polish something, or you got a show coming. I don't know. I would like to market it in a cool way. Like eye candy, or is it eye candy? Fucking whatever. Some mic called Candy something. It's great, and it's marketed really well, and it looks cool, and they always have I want to like try and make mics cool again type vibe.
Right, make hats too. Make mics
cool. A lot
again.
of merch involved. Yeah, I like that idea.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
What was I just gonna say?
What are you excited for?
What am I excited for?
Yeah,
I'd say just the new year. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now with the podcast, the vlog, the comedy show stuff, doing some sketches.
Stuff looks good.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I have a lot of fun putting that together. And it's just it's a little different. I find that like I'm kind of mixing the everyday vlog stuff to the comedy shows, to the podcasts, putting everything together. Asking you to come on here and then asking you to do the comedy show. So just kind of meshing everything together.
I like that. Do you have a day job?
No, this is it. Ted Jones World. This is it. This is the day and night job.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
Goals.
So I used to work in my dad's company in real estate for like 6 years, and then I started doing this full time 2 years ago in April.
Okay.
Full time.
2 years ago in April. That's amazing. Is your dad in the city?
Yeah, my dad has a real estate company in the city, so I used to work as a property manager. Yeah. I see my parents probably like once a week, actually. Both my parents live here, and my sisters as well. So I try and see all of them like once a week.
Amazing. Everyone gets along?
Yeah, my parents are divorced though.
But they get along?
still get along, yeah.
That's a dream.
It's great.
My parents are divorced and they hate each other.
Really? They hate each other?
Hot take, I shouldn't say that. But they don't get along and they don't talk. So.
And you're just like the middle woman?
Yeah. I mean, they don't need to ever be connected. So, like, I used to have a joke where I'd be like, when I was growing up, my parents would use the kids to talk. Like, my dad would call me up. He'd be like, hey, Torey, tell your mom it's her turn to get you from school tomorrow. And that she's a slut. Yeah, but no, like stuff like that growing up, like, you know, he would use the kids to talk, but no, it is what it is now. So
okay, so the next thing we're looking for from you is December 15th show, correct?
Yeah, well, I don't want to cannibalize from your show.
Well, you can have some. Go ahead.
That's so kind. Yeah. We got the Joke Lab at the Late in the Lower East Side.
And then come
December
over
15th.
To the Moxie after. I think we're going to have a bumping after party.
Okay, amazing. That's fun because Nina's got Buy Me Dinner first at Sauce. I got the Late. So we're going to have a whole army of people. We got to just put them somewhere.
Hot chicks, hot dudes, hot comedy.
Yeah, if you're single, you're going to find someone.
Or if you're not, come.
Yeah, just come look at hot people.
Look at hot people.
Come look at hot people. Yeah, Nina's show had a lot of hot people there.
I know, it was funny. And it just smelled like cheese in there. Straight cheese. I was like, I'm not really a cheese person, obviously, because I'm vegan.
Oh, right.
V's.
What do you miss the most?
Vegan cheese.
What do you...
Potentially pizza. Potentially.
Really? Not even? Like, you can't even commit to saying it. You just say potentially?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're doing your part for the world?
Absolutely. I'm trying to change the world one step at a
What's your favorite
time.
vegan food item?
Maybe like French fries.
Okay.
French fries. So I can be normal and like say French fries. But also I eat a lot of fruit.
Okay.
Cashews.
Do you feel better being vegan?
Yeah.
I'm like whenever I talk to someone that's vegan, I'm like, should I be vegan?
Yeah, try it. Sober and vegan.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Might be a little
untouchable.
Much. But
I dabble in Whole30. I always feel good when I do that.
What the shit's that?
It's like no dairy, no grains.
Oh,
that shit. Yeah.
But what's the diet where you can eat bacon and cheese?
That's keto.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
No. That's a lie. Keto's
like
a lie.
Cheesy bacon strips.
No, that's so
it's
dumb.
vegan. So if you want to try,
people.
you let me know. Also, a lot of places near you, I think, would probably be vegan.
Probably.
If you look at like the Uber Eats thing.
Yeah. I did go vegan in college for a while because I watched like Vegucated and like Food Inc. and all that, and I got really sad about the way animals are treated.
How long were you vegan for?
Like a month.
What happened?
I just kind of gave up. It was like kind of expensive.
It was also harder probably in Colorado.
Yeah. And like,
especially at that time.
Yeah, in college it was hard. Like I was trying to like buy my own food. I just
like dining hall and stuff.
Yeah, I was eating like peanut butter and jelly. That's it.
Well, now there are a lot more options, and for everybody living in New York City, you check Seamless, you check Uber Eats, and there are a ton of options for vegan meals.
Have you ever heard that if you help a chick crack its egg, it can't come out or it'll die immediately?
It makes sense.
So I gotta crack my own way out. I'm paying my dues right now. It's we're grinding, but so I think I'm just looking forward to next year's more growth, and I'm trying to write more. I have a blog.
Shout out
a website.
Shout out deserves a shout out.
Oh, it's ToreyCole.com.
Oh,
it's just my name, ToreyCole.com.
So Cole's your last name.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been your middle name, but okay.
No,
good to know.
Yeah. But
it's a good stage name.
I've had a blog off and on for years, and I finally just put out my first post on Sunday, and I put it on my Instagram story thinking I'd get like a few likes or maybe someone be like, "That was good." But I had like 28 people respond.
Wow.
And people texting me.
That's amazing.
It felt really good.
What do you write about?
So the first post was just basically a post about posting. I was like, "Hey guys, like I'm going to be posting," but I wanted it to be good. Like I don't want to be like, "Oh, I'm going to be posting. Like this is my accountability post." So I posted and like, I want to make it like a 2-3 minute read. Cause no one's going to be like, "Oh, like maybe 5 minutes max." But it was just like a 3-minute read, just kind of coming up being like, I want to bring back the blog. And then I kind of got a nugget of like, my mantra in life is nothing matters. Nobody knows what they're doing and we're all going to die. And I really like that message. I think it's liberating. I think it pushes you to do what you want to do and just kind of let go of the bullshit, because it's true. I mean, I've gone through my own personal experiences where I was like really convinced that I was like going to die, and I just like couldn't get out of my head with that. But it's like if you spin it in a way where it's liberating, and it's like, yeah, you're only here for a short amount of time. Just go live. So I had that in there and like just a few other like elements that I wanted to kind of get out. So that way it wasn't just a total like throwaway where I'm like, thanks for reading, I'm going to be writing. But yeah, like it got me excited to hold myself accountable to putting it out there on Sundays. And then, some people reached out being like, oh, like you're going to write a book. And that is really my dream, is to write a book. that becomes a movie or a sitcom. But it kind of was like the first start to like getting myself to do that. So
You were talking about like the first time you really thought you were going to die when you smoked too much weed. You said you've had more experiences. What do you mean?
I mean, I've had like a few like close calls. I feel like everyone has. I don't know. Like I've been in a car with a drunk driver. He like went off the road, and it wasn't like we ended up hitting a mailbox and not a tree, which the tree was very close by. So that was really intense. But anyways, like I feel like we've all had our moments where you look back and you're like, that wasn't good. You
Totally.
know? So I think we all can relate to that in a way, and it's like it's terrifying, but it's also like, well, there's a reason we're still here, and it's cool. It's like sometimes I think about that time and I'm like, I feel like I've got like this second chance at life sometimes. So not to be dramatic, like
also like starting comedy almost on a whim from a bachelorette or from a wedding speech.
Totally, it definitely was. I kind of tripped into it, but it's everything that I love, and it's like, wait, how did I not find this sooner? This is truly every element of life that I.
Did you do theater as a kid?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Do I seem like a theater kid?
No, but I was just wondering if you did any sort of performing.
I did nothing.
Sports?
Yeah, I played sports.
What sport?
Lacrosse and field hockey.
Yeah. UConn had great lacrosse and field hockey teams. We won the national championship.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Very cool.
We were good.
I played club in college, so I didn't do the full thing in college, but it kept me going.
And where'd you go to college?
Boulder.
Which we went over in the beginning of this episode. I forgot for a second, but I like circled back.
No, we talked about a lot. I talked a lot. I feel like
you know what this is great.
Okay,
Torey.
good. I feel like I should have asked you about you more.
You know what? They all know. Don't worry about
but I just
it.
Don't want to think that
what?
This is my usual vibe. Normally, I'm more like tell
You're
me about you.
Yeah, right. Well, anything you want to know, you can text me, and I'll respond.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Torey, thank you so much for coming on the Ted Jones World podcast. This was a great time.
Absolutely,
really guys. We're gonna pop up Torey's Instagram here, so Torey, shout it out, and we'll see you. I guess December 15th, right? What's your Instagram?
At Torey Cole. Torey.
Pop it up. You wanna hold it?
Am I gonna hold it? Am I holding it? Can I squeeze it?
Squeeze it a little bit. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.